Welcome back. Yes, I decided to wear the Mooters tonight for the recap, and you're welcome. Jersey that truly Dallas needs to do some kind of a throwback to, because almost every other ugly jersey has been brought back, minus the Burger King. Everything else has been done. We've redone it, because why not? All right, so first up, we've got the Dallas Stars, not wearing the Mooters, of course, in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was Ottinger versus Tarasov in what would prove to be a pretty solid goaltending matchup. So Gavrikov was down. He collided with Kiviranta. Now, of course, for Columbus, any further injuries are just non-starters. That's no. You don't want any further injuries at all. Meyer then has a chance to deflects out. Sagan had a net feed. That was held. The shots are 5-3 for Dallas at 5.5 minutes. Kiviranta has a shot that trickles through Tarasov but ends up going wide. So went 5-hole and then went wide. Tufte has a wraparound that's held. Then we get some pushing. Good back and forth at the half in this one. Johnson has a rush chance that's caught and held. Chinikov, at this point, they announced who got hurt earlier in the period, was not going to return. So, yeah, for Columbus, it's just, it's not great. Tarasov then with a turnover, but he denies Marchment right after, so he bailed himself out, and it's scoreless after one. Second period, it takes 55 seconds. It's a pretty good press by Dallas. And a rebound is buried by Wyatt Johnston, and that's why he's not at the World Juniors. He scores from Suter and Ben at 55 seconds. The Stars press at 5 minutes. Roslovic has a rush chance that's defended. The shots are 7-3 for Dallas at 9 minutes. Sagan has a shot that's blocked on a 2-on-1. There's a press by Columbus with 3 minutes left. Ben's denied on a 2-on-1. Tarasov is the only reason this game isn't like 4-0 at this point. Tarasov was playing fantastic. Not that there was anything wrong with Ottinger's game either, but Tarasov was the busier in the second period. Jackets press in the final minute with 6 seconds left. They get a power play. So that rolls over to the third period. Dallas does finish the kill. Johnston has a net drive that's blocked. Meyer can't bury a rebound on a rush. Robinson had a rush chance that was saved. There's a feed to Olivier. Near miss right at the net. The shots are 5-0 for Columbus at 7 minutes. The Stars, though, they press at the half. The teams are exchanging rushes with 8.5 minutes left. There's a post for Nyquist. And total disbelief that one didn't go in. Goalie pull with 2 minutes left. The Stars ice it with 1:13 left, so Columbus calls a timeout. And then Robertson hits the empty net at 18:53. They would pull the goaltender again and ruin the shutout. At 19:45, it's Johnson from Roslovic and Nyquist. So that's the coal in the stocking for Ottinger. No shutout tonight. But Dallas wins 2-1. They go to 19-8-6 on the season. For Columbus, they're 10-19-2. The shots 14-13 Dallas in the first, 13-7 Dallas in the second, 8-7 Columbus in the third. Final shots 34-28 for Dallas. No power plays for Dallas. You can't suck on the power play if you don't get one. And there was one power play for Columbus. They didn't score on that. The hits were 33-9 for Columbus. I guess Dallas decided no hitting. Ottinger, 27 saves on 28 shots. Tarasov, 32 saves on 33 shots. Again, both goaltenders in this one were excellent. It was an entertaining game. Next up, Detroit in against the Washington Capitals. Husso versus Lindgren in this one. Shots are 1 apiece at 2.5 minutes. There's a brief press for the Capitals. Larkin fires one wide as the Wings press. Ovechkin loses an edge on a run. Or on a rush, I should say, and then on their second shot, Detroit scores. It's Perron from Rasmussen and Larkin at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And it was a good forecheck by Rasmussen again. So Michael Rasmussen definitely getting attention with his ability to forecheck. Larkin nearly buries one. Kopp then had a shot saved as the Wings press. Kuznetsov was then denied when the Caps would press back. Detroit gets a power play, though, and they score on it. It's Sundqvist from Berggren and Veleno at 15:36. And that was only the 5th shot on net. So at this point, you're asking, so is Lindgren shaky? It's 2 goals on 5 shots. Makes you wonder. 34.2 seconds left. The Caps get a power play. So that rolls over to the second period. Johansson's denied and close. Ovechkin can't bury one on the doorstep. That power play's killed off. Rasmussen has a rush chance that's held. Things get punchy after that. The Wings press at 5 minutes. Karlsson fires one high. The Capitals would press. The next chance for Karlsson, that was defended. It does not get to the net. Too many Wings on the ice. The Caps get a power play. Wings don't let them set up. Sherry then had a chance on a fast break, waits too long before taking the shot, and that was after the power play was killed off. Wings press at 9.5 minutes, but the Caps shot block. Washington gets the power play. Detroit kills that off. There's a press by the Caps with 5.5 minutes left. Husso holds. Dowd on a nice deke, he scores from Ovechkin and Aubé-Kubel at 15:35, makes it 2-1. And then it's 11 seconds later, Dowd scores again from Jensen. And this is one of those things that I know fans don't like. Lots of time given to Detroit as to whether or not they're going to challenge. I think that there should be a limit of about 20 seconds. That's it. Like just a 20-second limit, and if you haven't challenged by then, done. They really shouldn't be standing there waiting for the coach to decide and them to talk to the guys upstairs. No. Then things get punchy near the Wings net. They didn't challenge it either. Wings get a power play. That's killed off. Carlson fires one high on a 3-on-2. 36.8 seconds left. The Wings get a power play. This leads to the fans informing the ref that in terms of his suckage, it's not at 0%. Might be more around the 100% mark than the 0% mark. So that power play rolls over into the third. Referees' hurt feelings aside. Caps finish the kill. The Wings then press. They're kept to the outside. Johansson has a shot that's saved as the Caps press, but Detroit would get the lead back. It's Raymond from Kopp and Mata at 4:49. However, wired top shelf, Gustafsson. Yeah, he's hot right now, isn't he? From Eller and Aubé-Kubel at 5:59. So there's Aubé-Kubel with another assist. And it's 3-3. Caps press for the lead. 8:03 left. Kuznetsov gets shaken up on a hit. Ovechkin's then denied with 2.5 minutes left. But we're going to overtime. In the overtime, Caps controlled it early. Ovechkin with a net drive. That's blocked. The Wings take it. There's a save on Hronik. Whistle goes. Wings control on the next draw. Kuznetsov's denied on a net drive. Larkin has a shot that's held, and it looked like this was going to go to a shootout until at 4 minutes and 38 seconds on a rush, Orlov finishes it from Johansson and Dowd, and your final score is 4-3 for the Caps. So again, Ovechkin doesn't pass Gordie Howe. Mark and Marty were in attendance for this one too, Howe's kids. But yeah, the Washington Capitals still win 4-3 in overtime. They go to 17-13-4 with the win. Frustrating loss for Detroit. They're now 13-11-7 with the loss. Shots in this one: 10-6 Washington in the first, 17-7 Washington in the second, 12-5 Washington in the third, and then 3-1 Washington in the overtime. Final shots: 42-19 for the Caps. Power plays: Detroit 1 for 3, Washington 0 for 3. The hits: 24-17 for Detroit. Husso saves 38 out of 42. Lindgren saves 16 out of 19. So, yeah, I mean, this one probably shouldn't have gone to overtime, but Husso decided to drag it there. All right, next up, Florida in against Boston. So this was an interesting one in that it looked like we might see a monster comeback, but Boston said no. So it was Knight versus Ullmark, and we get a puck that goes into the Bruins net after the whistle right away. Which we can debate whether or not it should have counted or not counted. I'm going to say not counted, but either way, the whistle went before the puck went in the net. Panthers had the early edge. The shots were 3-1 in their favor, 5 minutes into the first period. Frederick has a blast that's held. The Panthers press at 6.5 minutes. Shots are 3-3 with 9.5 minutes left. Pretty tight game until at 10:51 on their fourth shot, Boston scores. It's Clifton from Hall. It was a screen shot as well, so it's 1-0 Boston. Bruins press for another. Nosek has a screenshot. That's held. Clifton fires one high. The Bruins are really controlling it at this point. Knight covers a weird hop. Like the puck makes a weird hop off a stanchion. Covers it. Then we get some pushing after that. Carlo would score, though, from Marchand and Bergeron on a rush. And he wires it. That's his first of the year. You wouldn't know it if you saw it at 14:04. And I don't know that Knight's seen it yet either. And then Coyle adds one from Frederick and Carlo at 16:07. Then with 3:20 left, the Bruins get a power play. They're already up 3-0. So Florida does kill that off and maintain a 3-0 deficit. Panthers press in the final minute, but again, it's 3-0 Boston after one. Second period, delayed game call gives the Bruins an early power play, and they score on it. It's Pasternak. Give that man an extension from Bergeron and Marchand at 1:38. That's a scoring play that has been on this board quite a bit over the last 4 years. And then 3:02, Florida starts their comeback. First, it's Reinhart from Kierstead and Verhaeghe. He buried the rebound on that one. Reinhart stays red hot. Mahura has a shot that deflects out, but then Eric Stahl, who's been picking up goals lately, gets one from Forsling and Montour at 5:42. Panthers score. It's called no goal, but they review it, and it counts. It's Verhaeghe from Reinhart and Lusterinen at 8:21. So in 5 minutes and 19 seconds, Florida scored 3 times, and this game's suddenly very interesting. Panthers get a power play, making it more interesting, but that's killed off by Boston. Lusterinen gets shaken up, but then at 11:50, Krejci with one that goes post and in from Lindholm and Hall. Panthers press to answer. They would press again with 3 minutes left, but after the second period, it's 5-3 for Boston. Third period, early jump for the Panthers, but we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. It then becomes a 4-on-3 power play for Florida. Montour has a shot that's saved as the Panthers are pressuring with that power play. The Bruins do kill it off. We're down to 13:30 left. Ullmark was both busy and good in that third period, and Bergeron rewards him on a turnover rush with the goal from Clifton at 8:52. So Boston's ahead 6-3. There's that breathing room they needed. And then on a power play, Bergeron scores from Lindholm and Marchand. So Lindholm, who's been cooling off since McAvoy came back, which shouldn't surprise anybody, gets a couple of helpers today. And so that makes it 7-3 with 2:35 left. The Panthers get a power play. That's killed off. And Boston wins this one 7-3. They go to 25-4-2. Most ridiculous record I can remember. The Panthers, tough loss, 15-14-4. And they continue this. They get the 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Shots in this one, 12-9 Boston in the first, 19-7 Florida in the second, 11-7 Florida in the third. They outshot the Bruins 39-26. Power plays, Florida 0-3, Boston 2-4. So there's a big part of the difference. Hits were 14-9 for Florida, so Boston didn't feel like hitting tonight anymore in Dallas. Knight saved 19 out of 26. Ullmark saves 36 out of 39. Big difference maker in net. Not that I thought Knight was really bad necessarily, but yeah, Ullmark was quite good. So we'll just leave it at that. All right, next up, the Edmonton Oilers and the Nashville Predators. The Oilers had beaten Nashville, 8 times in a row coming into this one? That would end tonight. So Campbell versus Saros, early jump for the Preds. They're ahead in shots 3-0, 3 minutes into this. There's a press by the Oilers at 4 minutes, but Ekholm would open the scoring from Novak at 4:35. The Oilers go right back into the Pred zone and they're pressuring for an answer. They get a power play. That's killed off. But then Puljujarvi kind of throws one at the net and it goes in. From Nurse and Campbell at 8:42. So there's Jack Campbell with a helper. And the score's tied. Nino then had a rush chance. That was saved. Trennan had a rush chance that was defended. So this is where those rushes are coming in now for Nashville. Johansson has a chance that's held. Sissons had a net feed that was cleared in the final minute. But to close out the period, Nashville's pressuring. So after the first period, Edmonton might have felt a little bit fortunate to have it tied at 1. Second period, we get good back and forth at 2 minutes, but eventually Nashville gets the lead back. It's gross from Trennan and Johansson at 2:57. It deflects in. They don't ask you how, just how many. Ekholm's denied. There's a 2-on-1, and the Oilers get a power play as a result. They score on it as Nugent-Hopkins from McDavid and Barrie at 4:22. That one he buries in close. I believe that was the 16th of the season. Yeah, Nugent-Hopkins is really playing quite well right now. Preds get a power play. They were 0 for their last 20 coming in. Make it 0 for 21. Forsberg has a shot that's held, but that power play is killed off. Ryan has a shot saved on a 3-on-2. There was a power play for Nashville, and they score on it. So now they were 1 for their last 22. Duchesne from Granlund at 12:02. The Oilers press with 4.5 minutes left. Janmark's denied. We get some pushing, but we're going into the third period with the score 3-2 for the Nashville Predators. Oilers get a power play early, and they score on it again. It is Nugent-Hopkins at 1:53 from McDavid, and it's post and in. That's 17 goals on the season for Nugent-Hopkins. Granlund's denied the next shift. Ekholm then had a shot that saved as Nashville's pressing, looking for another goal. Draisaitl's denied on a rush. The shots are 4 apiece at 5 minutes. The Oilers press 8 minutes into the period. Preds had some momentum late. The Oilers are blocking them out. The Predators press with 1.5 minutes left. Glass has a shot that deflects out, but we're going to overtime. And the overtime was busy tonight. There were 3 overtime games out of 8. So Oilers control early. Nurse fires one wide on a 2-on-1. Hyman's denied on a one-timer. Niederreiter steals one from Yamamoto, and eventually it goes in the net. It's Carrier from Glass and Niederreiter at 2:12. So Alexander Carrier making his return to the lineup. He gets a goal here, buried 2-on-1, while the Oilers are trying to get a change done. So your final score is 4-3 in overtime for Nashville. They're back to 500, 13-13-4. The Oilers, tough loss, 17-14-2 for them now on the season. Shots are 14-10 Nashville in the first, 13-9 Edmonton in the second. 11-7 Nashville in the third, 3-1 Edmonton in the overtime. Final shots are 35-33 for Nashville. Power plays, Edmonton 2 for 3, Nashville 1 for 2. Hits were 22-20 for Edmonton. Campbell saves 31 out of 35 in Saros. 30 saves on 33 shots. So, that being said, I need to change boards. All right, there it is. The shutout. So I've got these new stickers that I've turned into magnets that I got on eBay with this old set of Kellogg's. And I thought, Kellogg's stickers, that's great. So when a goalie gets a shutout, Tony the Tiger says they're great. There you go. That's just, I thought, yeah, because I've got the magnets, of course, for when it's a 4-goal or more. Well, no, when it's more than 4 goals, because 4 goals here. The No Mercy magnet that I use for when it's more than a 4-goal differential. I thought I need one for shutouts, and I thought, what better than Tony the Tiger? And I got 4 of them. So 4 shutouts max. Can't have more than that. But this is the first shutout since I made these magnets almost a week ago. So I'm glad that I didn't want to have to explain to goalies why they weren't getting shutouts. So it was Sorokin versus Georgiev in this one. Cizikas wins a race to beat out an icing. The shots are 1 apiece at 4.5 minutes. Good pace. This game, honestly, not a lot of whistles. Not a lot of penalties. It was just, again, as a statement that gets made a lot, it was like they were renting the ice by the hour. Fashion can't bury a rebound. Georgiev was sharp when he was tested. That's an understatement. McDermott has a wraparound. That's blocked out. Nelson has a wraparound. Near miss on that. Cogliano has a net feed that's held. The Avs press at the half. Compher has a tip that's held onto as well. Neither goalie giving up a lot in the way of rebounds tonight. Power play for the Islanders, but they overpass. And so the Avs get to clear it out when they're overpassing. As Butch Goring said, he felt like they were waiting for the perfect shot. Yep, that's what that looks like, is when, that power play's passing, you're like, just take the shot. And they're waiting for that perfect moment, right? So that's killed off, and after the first period, it's scoreless. We go to the second. Avs press at men and a half. They draw a power play. Near miss for Lehkonen during that. His next shot ends up hitting the post. Rodriguez then had a shot that was blocked. That's killed off. The shots are 6-4 for the Avs at 5.5 minutes. The Avs go back to the power play. That's killed off, and their power plays are done for the night. Gerard has a shot kicked aside. The Avs press with 8 minutes left. Sorokin really the story at this point in the game. Both goalies end up being the main story, though, of this game. Rodriguez sticks Barzal somewhere that a guy doesn't want to get a stick. I don't know if it was intentional either. I don't think so. The way that Rodriguez is leaving the ice. So if you're going to, spear somebody in the no-no place, I don't think you do it as you're leaving the ice. But, Barzal probably needed a minute. Anyways, Lehkonen's denied in the final minute. He didn't take a stick in the no-no place. So we're going to the third period with it scoreless. Shots are 2-0 for the Avs at 3 minutes. Hey, people watch this with their kids, so that I'll leave it at that. Although little kids might know what that is. So, Cizikas can't bury a rebound. Ranton has a chance that deflects height. Now they're asking their parents. Post for Nichushkin on a rebound. The shots are 10-4 for the Avs at the half. Sorokin continues to be the story. The Islanders press with 9 minutes left. Johnson then fires one wide as the Avs press back. Cogliano exited. It looked like it was his shoulder. That'd be terrible if that happens to the Avs as they start getting healthier. If they lose Cogliano for any period of time, that's going to be tough. And it felt like overtime with 5 minutes left, because it kind of was. Rantanen's denied on a rush in the last minute, and Sorokin earns him a point. So we're going to overtime. Islanders controlled it early. Pajot gets blocked out. The Avs cleared it out. It looked like that Pajot one hit the net, but it didn't. Lehkonen then had a rush that's defended. Beauvillier has a shot deflect out. Nelson has a pass that's stolen. Rantanen with a rush. Makar's denied. We're going to a shootout. In the shootout, Evan Rodriguez gets the winner. So, the shots are 11-10 Islanders in the first, 15-7 Colorado in the second, 19-8 Colorado in the third, and only 2-0 in the overtime for Colorado. Final shots 46-26 for Colorado. Power plays, Islanders 0 for 1, Colorado 0 for 2. The hits 25-24 for Colorado. Sorokin saves all 46 shots for his 13th career shutout. Georgiev saves all 26 shots for his 10th career shutout. When it goes to a shootout, both goalies are rewarded with the shutout. So, there you go. 2 shutouts, same board. They're both great. Yes, they are. And I do not have a magnet to put on here that says great with a bunch of R's. That might be next. That might be the next thing that I need, right? I guess I could just find it probably on a box somewhere. Anyways, I don't think I'd be allowed to go into a store or just cut that out of a box and then hand them the box and go, I don't really need to buy it. I don't really want the cereal. I just wanted the great. Can I just get anyways? All right. Enough sidetracking. Enough. All right. Next up, Buffalo and Vegas. Why is this review getting posted so late? Because he's all over the place about the Tony the Tiger magnet. All right. Luukkonen versus Hill and Buffalo versus Vegas tonight. I just talked about a goaltender getting his team points. Let's talk about Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen doing the same thing for Buffalo. Good back and forth early. There was a post for Tage Thompson. Lyubushkin somersaulted into the corner. Things get pushy after that. That was a boarding call, but man, that somersault by Lyubushkin into the boards was scary looking. Kolasar gets called for that. It's just 2 minutes. It was not like it's vicious. It's just he was off balance and he just flipped over into the corner. Aggressive kill by Vegas, though. They do kill that off. Carlson's then denied on a rush. Vegas gets a power play. Marchessault's denied. The Sabres clear it out. That's killed off. Shots are 7-3 for Vegas with 6.5 minutes left. Stone has a shot that's held. Carrier has a deflection that's saved. Dangerous power play here. But after the kill, Vegas presses some more. So that power play doesn't get them a goal, but it does give them some momentum. Jost then had a rush chance that's held. But after the first period, it's scoreless. And then 154 in, a one-timer on a rush, it's Skinner from Tuck and Pilot. So, Alex Tuck against his former teammates here. Stretch pass to Tuck then was intercepted. And when I saw that, I thought, well, yeah, Vegas knows how Tuck likes that stretch pass, so they'd be ready for it. So the shots are 3-1 for the Sabres at 6 minutes. Yeah, I was as surprised as anyone. Clegg is then denied during a brief press, but Thompson is not. He scores from Fitzgerald at 7:15. Luukkonen then freezes a Smith shot, so doesn't allow that rebound. Roy's then denied. Vegas had some momentum. They were also engaging in some really strong forechecking. And then on the 6th shot of the period, Pilot gets the 3rd goal of the period for Buffalo. Okposo and Krebs with the assists at 13:28. And in the final minute, more pressure from the Sabres. So, even though they're outshot in that second period, they outscore Vegas 3-0. So we go to the 3rd period. Cousins has a net drive that's held, but the shots 3 minutes in are 5-1 for Vegas. We've seen this storyline before. Recently, not so much. Where Vegas has a really strong 3rd period, they get a bunch of shots, and before you know it, they win the game. Tuck's denied on a breakaway, which seemed key, and it was, because then Stevenson scores from Martinez and Amadio at 3:54. And it really comes down to, Rob Ray said, and I'll agree with this, just the structure defensively wasn't there for the Sabres in the 3rd period. It just looked like they were trying to hold on and not trying to actually get the victory in this one. The momentum's for Vegas, and at this point, then there's a delay game call. Vegas gets the power play on that. Pietrangelo has a blast that's kicked aside, and so that was killed off. So, yeah, Vegas had called a timeout during that power play. I guess Cassidy didn't like something that he saw there, but it doesn't matter. They end up killing it anyways. Luukkonen holds on to a Stone shot. Marchessault then had a penalty shot. That was saved by Luukkonen. He outweights him. That was fantastic play by Luukkonen there. Just gave him nothing to shoot at. Thompson's then denied from the slot, which I again thought was important, and it was, because they pulled the goaltender with 2:40 left, and then Riley Smith scores from Pietrangelo and Carlson at 17:39. Vegas is not out of this. The Sabres, they're guilty of icing it with 55.8 seconds left. They iced it again with 46.4 seconds left with some tired guys on the ice, and then they iced it again with 1.5 seconds left. But 1.5 seconds, it's hard to score when it's 1.5 seconds left in a game, and they don't. Your final score is 3-2 for Buffalo. They go to 16, 14, and 2. Vegas is below 500 at home. They're 22, 11, and 1 overall. They're below 500 at home. Yes, that's video worthy. So the shots are 10-6 Vegas in the first, 10-7 Vegas in the second, 23-5 for Vegas in the third. So the final shots are 43-18 for Vegas. Luukkonen steals this one. So the power plays 0 for 1 for Buffalo, 0 for 3 for Vegas. The hits 16-13 Buffalo. Luukkonen saves 41 out of 43. What a night. And Adin Hill, 15 saves on 18 shots. Not nearly as good of a night for Adin Hill. So I think this is the second game in a row where Hill's had some sketchy numbers. We'll see how far this goes for Vegas because, again, they've got that nice cushion atop the division. I don't know how much longer that's going to be a thing because, yeah, this was an interesting one tonight. All right, next up, the Montreal Canadiens and the Arizona Coyotes. This was a very entertaining game. Montembeault versus Vejmelka. Montembeault, again, with a really strong game. He's having a very good year. Habs press are kept to the outside. The shots are only one apiece at 4.5 minutes. Armia has a rush chance that's held. The Coyotes get a power play. Suzuki blocks a shot from Goss Despair. That power play is killed off. Anderson has a rush out of the box. That's held. The Habs get a power play. There was a shorthanded rush to start it from Bjugstad. Suzuki then has a shot that hits Dvorak in the face. He exits. He would come back into the game, but that was scary looking on the ice there. That's killed off. The Coyotes get a power play. That's killed off as well. We're going to the second period, and I think that was all the power plays. I think they were all in the first. So 49 seconds in, Montreal opens the scoring. Caulfield from Anderson and Gouli. But before you can really celebrate that, while they're still announcing that goal, Schwartz scores from Keller. That's Schmaltz. Schmaltz scores from Keller at 1:24. I don't know why I wrote Schwartz. It's Schmaltz. So Nick Schmaltz, one of my favorite players, wrote his name wrong on the board. Dingus right here. Anyways, so that was a turnover and it's buried on a rush. The Coyotes look for the lead. The Habs defended a 3-on-2, and then it's Dvorak from Dodonov and Xhekaj at 4:27. The goal was originally given to Xhekaj. It looked like Dvorak had tipped it in front, but maybe it had gone off the defender. It is Dvorak's goal. They changed it between the second and third period. So it was a nice goal. There really wasn't anything Vejmelka could do there. The Habs have a 3-on-2. That's completely mishandled. They botched that. There's a press by the Habs at 6.5 minutes. Richard was denied on a turnover. I love that the Montreal Canadiens have a player named Richard in the lineup. I think that's something that's been missing. It's just the last name Richard in Montreal. It just feels like that's going to work. But Michelli scores to get his, I believe that's his third of the season, or maybe it's his fourth. Could be his fourth. And I'd like to see Michelli start getting more goals. He scores from Krause and Chychrun at 7:22. They were talking during the game about how he's not getting a lot of attention, probably because he's in Arizona. I think it's because he's not scoring as many goals. I think Beniers is getting the goals. If Michelli's goals start going up like this, he'll get more attention in the Calder race. So he buried that one on a fast break during a net drive, and just absolutely gorgeous goal by Michelli. The Habs press at 9 minutes. Michelli then has a shot blocked as the Coyotes would press. The Habs, they get some more pressure in that final minute, but after the second period, it's 2-2. Third period, Caulfield has a rush chance. That's defended. The Habs had the edge, but they weren't getting any shots at this point, so getting that zone time, but not able to get very much at the net. Hoffman hits the side of the net. The shots are 3-1 for the Habs at 6 minutes, so about a shot every 2 minutes. Caulfield has a tip on a rush. That's held. The Habs get a power play. Shorthanded Fisher rush is saved. That power play is killed off. The Habs press. They can't get to the net. Same storyline. Coyotes press with 2.5 minutes left. Michelli has a net drive. That was blocked out. He doesn't get there. The Coyotes call a timeout with 51 seconds left, but we're going into overtime. So whatever they discussed during that timeout doesn't work out for them. Coyotes controlled early. Ghost then turned it over to Caulfield. Gouli nearly ends it. And then at 1 minute and 8 seconds, Hoffman does. On a rush, he buries it from Doc and Edmondson. And so Montreal wins 3-2 in overtime. They get back to NHL 500 at 15-15-2. Arizona 10-15-5. Their home record's now 4-3-2. The shots in this one, 17-5 Arizona in the first, 16-12 Arizona in the second, 7-6 Montreal in the third, and in the overtime Montreal gets both shots, including the one that matters. Final shots, 39-26 for Arizona. Both teams go 0-2 on the power play. Hits were 20-19 Arizona. Montembeault saves 37 out of 39. Vejmelka saves 23 out of 26. So, entertaining game. Montreal comes out with 2 points. We'll see how things go for them from here. All right, last game of the night. St. Louis in Vancouver. This is the storyline, right? This is what's been happening. Vancouver goes out on the road. They have a good road trip. And then they come home, and they show their home fans, we're not getting above 500. We're not getting back to 500. And now we will take our leave of you. I don't know what they're going to do. It's Binnington versus Martin. Keep in mind that the roster freeze went into effect tonight, and not just because it's bleeding cold, but because it's Christmas break. So the roster freeze goes into effect tonight. It's in effect until I think it's the 28th when it's off. So between now and the 28th, no trades, nobody sent down or brought up unless under emergency circumstances, I believe. But yeah, the roster freeze is in place. Canucks get an early power play. Horvat tips one wide. Hughes is denied. That's killed off, just the one shot. Tarasenko has a net drive that's saved. The Canucks press at 4.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside, and then they get their second power play. And this is really the game here. This is, they're getting opportunities, they're getting chances, and it's just not going their way. So, Miller has a blasted save. That's about as close as they get. That power play is killed off. Canucks are controlling it, but the game's scoreless. And this is the frustration that goes back to the 80s. Canucks are buzzing. Canucks are getting chances. They're limiting the opposition's chances. But you know eventually it's going to go the other way. So the Blues press at the half. They draw a power play. There was a post for Shen, but that power play is killed off. Shots even up as the Blues have momentum. Krug has a shot that deflects off of the top of the helmet of Spencer Martin. And then we go to the second period with it still scoreless. Not for long. So Krug has a shot that deflects out. Lazar breaks up a pass to Parayko at the net. Power play then for the Canucks. That's killed off. There was a feed to Besser afterwards, but that's intercepted. Martin holds a Bertuzzo shot. And then at 10:25, it's Kyrou burying a rebound from Leddy and Tarasenko. So 1-0 St. Louis. Then there's a near miss for Levo on a rush, but Ilya Mikheyev, who has been excellent for the Canucks. For all of the criticism we can throw at the Canucks management, Mikheyev's been fantastic, so's Kuzmenko. Mikheyev scores from Hughes at 12:24, so in 12 home games, Hughes has 14 assists now. It's just weird. And it's a backhand, and he goes around Bennington on that. It was a beautiful goal by Mikheyev. No chance for Bennington there. But then at 13:02, it's 38 seconds later, Nathan Walker just basically walks in and scores. You really want to save there. He gets that one from Leddy and Parayko. Blues press with 5.5 minutes left, and they had some momentum. 2:26 left, a power play for the Blues, and they score on it at 18:50. It's Robert Thomas from Barbashev and Kyrou. So that makes it 3-1. It's posted in, and it was after the Canucks tried to clear it and couldn't. Too many Canucks on the ice, so with 38 seconds left, the Blues are on the power play again. That rolls over into the third. Yeah, they scored on it. At 1:07, it's Kyrou from Tarasenko and Krug. At the very least, if the Canucks can have the historically worst penalty kill of all time, that's something that they get a record for this year. Because, boy, that penalty kill is just, it's hard to watch. It really is. There's no... You know where it's aggressive and you get all those clears and everything? Not so much with the Canucks penalty kill. So that one was wired top corner. I'm feeling bad for Martin on that one. And then Peterson's denied as the Canucks press. That's Lane Peterson, not Elias Pettersson. Nope. So Hughes draws the fourth Canucks power play. That's killed off because of course it is. And then it's Kyrou scoring from Thomas and Tarasenko at 9:17. That's the hat trick goal for Jordan Kyrou. Kyrou with the hat trick to go with an assist. 4-point game. And remember when he had that slow start? Neither do we. So Lazar nearly buries one, and the Boo Birds are out late. I totally get it tonight. They lost 5-1 at home against Winnipeg. They lost 5-1 at home against the St. Louis Blues. When good teams come in, Canucks fall apart. And I still think the Blues are a good team. They go to 16-15-1. They sweep the road trip through Western Canada. The Canucks drop to 13-15-3. I'm torn. Do I want them to start winning games to get back above 500 and have hope, or do I want to see them just lose the next 6 or 7 games so that the charade drops away? I don't know. The shots are 12-11 Vancouver or St. Louis in the first. Vancouver outshot them in the second and third, 10-8 and 13-7. Final shots are 34-27 for Vancouver. Power play, St. Louis 2 for 3, Vancouver 0 for 4. So St. Louis's penalty kill gets some work in tonight, and they get it done. They kill all 4. Vancouver's penalty kill kills 1 out of 3. The hits 26-21 Vancouver. Bennington saved 33 out of 34. He was excellent. Martin, for the second game in a row, he saves 22 out of 27. And yeah, I mean, Martin had a good run last year. It was a limited run. He's not really a starting goaltender in the National Hockey League, though, so I feel bad for him. He's a backup goaltender that's been thrown into a starting role. He has to start a bunch of games, and he's never had to do that in the National Hockey League before, so these results might be a little bit predictable, especially with how the defensive breakdowns work in front of him. So you have a goaltender that really needs a defense that's going to support him. We've seen that with other goaltenders around the NHL. Boston doing that for Swayman if he's had a rough game. The Stars doing that with Wedgwood, and then I watch a Canucks game and I'm like, yeah, I don't see that here. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.